Picture this. Law school graduation day. Cap, gown, proud parents, possibly student debt that could buy a small country. You're holding that degree thinking, I made it. I'm going to change the world. Fast forward 5 years. You're hiding in the stationery cupboard, Googling how to know if you're having a nervous breakdown, whilst your phone buzzes with 17 urgent emails about a contract amendment. Welcome to I Am The Advocat. I'm LawBooBoo, and today we're talking about the cruelest trap of all of them. When your dream job becomes your nightmare, but you can't leave because it was supposed to be your dream. Before we start, if you've got a story to tell about law swallowing your entire life and how it took your time, your personality, maybe even your friends, feel free to send it through in my anonymous link in the show notes, or DM me, I Am The Advocat, on Instagram. It might just make a future episode.
Segment 1, The Golden Handcuffs. Story 1, The Prestige Prison.
I worked so hard to get into this firm. My family is so proud. My law school friends are super jealous. And on paper, this is everything I wanted. So why do I feel dead inside? The prestige trap. You got the thing that was supposed to make you happy, but happiness wasn't in the fine print, was it? Here's the dirty secret about dream jobs. Sometimes they're nightmares wearing designer suits. Sometimes the prize is actually a penalty. Sometimes success tastes like sawdust and feels like drowning. And here's where fear kicks in. Fear of being the one who couldn't hack it. Fear of having to explain to people why you'd give up something everyone else wants. Fear that if you walk away, you'll never be this successful again. And so you stay and rot a little.
Story 2, The Sunk Cost Fallacy with Feelings.
I've been here for 8 years, 8 years of my life, my 20s, my early 30s. If I leave now, what was that all for? 8 years isn't just time, it's identity. You've built your whole sense of self around this place, this title, this trajectory. But if you spent 8 years in an abusive relationship, would you stay because what was it all for? Or would you count those years as 8 years of learning what you don't want? Why is career abuse different? Oh, right. Guilt. Guilt over the idea that walking away means those years were wasted. But staying when you know better? That's the real waste.
Story 3, The Family Portfolio Investment.
My parents sacrificed everything for my education. They're so proud I'm a lawyer. How can I tell them I'm miserable? Your parents' sacrifice wasn't for your misery. It was for your opportunities. And the opportunity to choose a different path is still an opportunity. This is guilt's favorite trick. Telling you you'll dishonor the people who helped you if you stop suffering. But you're not throwing away their sacrifice by refusing to be miserable. You're still honoring it by using the privilege they gave you to build a life worth living.
Segment 2, The Identity Merger.
Now let's talk about identity. Again, one of the more insidious parts of legal culture. Somewhere along the way, you stopped being a person who practices law and became a lawyer. And lawyers have a special hobby, talking law with other lawyers. Once you get 2 of you in a friend group, that's all you talk about, 4 hours. And your non-lawyer friends check out. They're basically potted plants on the table whilst you turn brunch into an unsolicited CPD seminar. This is how it happens. All of your friends are lawyers. All your conversations about cases. You stop having hobbies except billable hours. And eventually you can't separate you from your job. What do you do becomes the most important question about you, not what do you love? What makes you laugh? So if the answer isn't impressive, you feel like you don't matter. Which raises the question, who are you without your email signature? Without the suit? without the ability to bore a table full of civilians with case law anecdotes.
Story 4. The Signature Crisis.
I realized I don't know who I am outside of work. All my friends are lawyers. All my conversations are about cases. If I'm not a lawyer, what am I? You've been professionally lobotomized. They've surgically removed every part of your personality that doesn't generate revenue. Here's challenge 1 for this episode. List 5 things you loved before law school, before the suit, before the business cards, and then go and do one of them. Bonus points if it's not networking.
Segment 3. The Dream Defense Mechanism.
My favorite psychological defense mechanism, but this was my dream. Fear joins the party here. Fear of betraying your younger self. Like your 22-year-old self signed a blood contract your 32-year-old self is still legally bound to uphold. Newsflash. Dreams are allowed to change. You're allowed to want different things. You're allowed to realize the thing you thought you wanted isn't what you needed. And the guilt will still whisper, but so many people would kill for your job. Be grateful. Gratitude and misery can coexist. They do all the time.
Story 5. The Evolution Revolution.
I keep telling myself to be grateful, that this is what I worked for. But I'm different now. Am I allowed to change my mind? Not only are you allowed, you're supposed to. Growth means your values evolve. Experience means your priorities shift. Wisdom means recognizing when something isn't working and course correcting.
Segment 4. Mental Inventory Check.
Imagine you're at a party where nobody knows what you do for work. They can't ask you about your job, and they can't be impressed by your title. So how would you describe yourself? What would you talk about? What would make you interesting? Now, if these questions make you panic, congratulations. You've discovered how much of your identity you've outsourced to your employer. You are not your job title. You are not your firm's brand. You are most definitely not your billable hours. You are a complete human being who happens to work in law, not the other way around. And complete human beings are allowed to change their minds about what makes them happy. Yes, really.
Segment 5. The Permission to Pivot.
So one anonymous story came from someone who left law, stumbled through a very winding and maybe unorthodox career, and now is happier than they thought possible. And their advice was that the dream was worth chasing, and the leaving was worth living. So here's my permission slip for you. You have permission to want something else, to admit that the dream doesn't fit anymore, to waste your expensive education on being happy instead of miserable. Your law degree isn't a life sentence, it's a qualification, and qualifications can open more than just one door.
Segment 6. Litterbox Wisdom.
This week's Litterbox Wisdom: make a list of 3 things you want to do that have nothing to do with your resume. Not career goals, not professional development, just things you want. Experiences, feelings, ways of being. Write them down. Own them. They're just as valid as your professional ambitions, and actually maybe even more so.
Closing.
If you're feeling trapped between who you were and who you're becoming, that's not failure, that's growth. Your dreams are allowed to evolve, and so are you. If today's episode hit a nerve, follow the show. Share it with the lawyers in your life who can't stop talking about work, and send me your own story through the anonymous link in the show notes. You can also email me, lawbooboo@overitclub.com. This is LawBooBoo reminding you that the best plot twists happen when the main character finally listens to their heart instead of their business plan.
Meow.